I got a program for her so she doesn't have to record it through Audacity or anything. So I can just record it through the Skype machine, through the Skype call thing.
The Skype machine.
I don't know how this shit works. I mean, there's tubes and stuff, right?
There's like a thing that I plug in, and then it does the stuff.
Yeah, it's vacuum tubes, steampunk technology and stuff. So.
You just press the buttons.
Patience sounds like the visual effects designer on this movie.
Hey, don't insult her like that.
This is the thing. It goes here. It does this, right? And welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast, Netflix and Kill Edition. And what a Netflix and Kill it is today, because of not only what we are talking about, but who we are talking about it with, because we have doubled up on guests for Guest Flicks and Kill. Because we have Justin.
Hey, guys.
Our resident, another resident unapologist, basically, at this point. Our news correspondent, if you will. Our man on the scene.
And what scene is he on?
Well, he's on the scene he's on now is fucking Austin, Texas, because he's in town for the Double Toasted third year anniversary party, third one, right? Yeah. So you guys know the Double Toasted. We've been on that show as well. We're big fans of it, and Justin is in town for that, and he's hooked up with another friend of the pod, Patience.
Hi there!
Patience of oneofus.net, specifically the Deliberations of Doom, which I quite enjoy her on.
Thank you.
Also,
it's a great podcast, almost as good as the one that I did.
Almost as good as the Breakfast Pub.
Yeah, and you'll be on the Breakfast Pub this week, right?
Yep, I actually just recorded that episode with Chris, so expect it to be up either tonight or tomorrow.
Awesome.
Oh, dang! Chris works quick.
Was it already up? Oh, okay. Well, it'll be long since up since when you hear this, then. So definitely go check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course we have our resident unapologist here as well. My co-host Travis.
Hi.
Who is basically the I don't know, what do you call him? The abuser
I am
or
the cause of this
perpetrator.
pain.
He's the perpetrator of this episode.
He's the violator.
Violator.
Bring on your hate. I'll accept it.
And who's the last voice hating him here? Why, it's me, Nick the Merc with a mic. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like, this might be a short, I don't know how long this episode will be. Maybe it will be really long, longer than I think. Because when I'm like, normally I have so many things to say about a movie, good or bad. Because usually we watch, more interesting films. Like, okay, I could really talk about the cinematography or something here. And I don't.
Well, we can talk about the cinematography here.
Because we're talking about the 1997 film Spawn.
It's time. Imagine a substance with the power to destroy humanity. Imagine a creature insane enough to use it. Imagine a hero on the verge of creation. From flesh to steel.
You must visualize your objectives.
From blood to blade.
Don't get cocky. You have a lot more to learn.
From man to spawn.
Peekaboo. I see you.
We have harvested the ultimate weapon. Makes the Ebola virus look like a skin rash.
Compared to precalations, I say destroy the cosmos, ask questions later.
Who are you?
This is just what they want. You're playing their game.
Then now play dirty.
You've been violated, girly man.
Use your armor!
Now stay sharp. The night is young.
Evil has a new enemy. Justice has a new weapon. And the world has a new hero.
based off of the comic book by Todd McFarlane. And
like wicked Todd McFarlane and his awesome comics.
In his awesome comics, he's fucking. It's fucking amazing. Yeah,
that's
and
what he feels like too.
Yep, that's exactly why.
Even though he's from Canada, I don't get it.
what the? Okay, yeah, but this. I'm pretty sure the answer is Coke. I'm just gonna assume.
Could be.
But yeah. Yeah, long story short, Spawn sucks. Like, it's
let's not bury the lead here.
Let's cut to the chase. Spawn is a bad fucking movie.
It's not a bad movie, it's a bad comic, too. I mean, it's beautiful artwork, but it's just stupid. Really.
Todd McFarlane is a very good artist and a shitty writer. It is, like, there was no good like, if they were to accurately adapt Spawn, which I'm pretty sure they don't do here, it would still be really bad. Like, it wouldn't, if they would have captured the spirit of the comic, I'm pretty sure it would still be really awful. And also very fitting that we're talking about this film now, since, it looks like that, the remake is finally underway at Blumhouse, Studios.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually just reading or watching an interview with Todd McFarlane today, and he wants to make it into like an R-rated supernatural thriller.
Of course he does.
Not a superhero movie.
Okay.
Whatever.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, maybe it'll work with a lower budget, but, yeah, this film... Well, you know what? We're going to kick it over to Travis, because this was his film.
Oh, you're making me
to pick, so you're going to run through this plot
so that
we can rakishly make fun of it.
Oh my god. All I've been doing right now is I went to the director of this movie and started looking through his other movies he's directed. Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
You guys, like the last few things he's been doing lately have been like straight to DVD animated films, 3 of which were Garfield movies.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was his
so there is something worse than Spawn.
Yes, there is.
Anyway, so our movie Spawn starts off with our main character as an Al Simmons.
Yeah.
Who works for the most evil organization in the world, apparently.
Look, okay. So, I don't know what fucking version of the CIA he works for, or like what branch of government, like, but he doesn't know that he works for the bad guys until the last fucking minute. And that would be more acceptable because it wouldn't be as obvious. But in this film, there is a scene where he interacts with the 2 villains of the piece, and they are in a room that is basically darkly lit so that no matter where you stand, half your face is in shadow. And they have fucking pet, like, tarantulas and scorpions all over the place.
They had an ashtray filled with scorpions.
Yeah. What? Yo, you work for a villain. Like, what? Look around in that office.
Lair. It really is.
I thought the big clue was Martin Sheen's crappy beard.
Oh, and his crappy accent, too. Like, whatever that thing where... Imagine, for fans who are listening, if you ever played Mass Effect 2 and you loved his character, the Elusive Man, imagine that character if he smoked all the cigarettes and drank all the whiskey and decided to just do his gravelly voice like this. The whole thing.
Yeah, and drop basically all subtlety. I was just like...
Oh, no, I don't work for an evil organization at all. What's that scorpion doing there?
Those are on loan.
Who keeps spider dragons in their fucking bowl anyway? Scorpions are awful. Like, they are disgusting creatures that need to be destroyed. And, like, I don't get, like, how Al Simmons ever thought, like, oh man, cause you were just about to say, like, we see him first do this mission where he kills
a bunch of innocent people. Well, like with 30 innocent people.
Well, he's like, I didn't know. I thought you said the tarmac was clear of, like, you know, when I blew up that airport. Where I'm like, it's a fucking airport, moron. Yeah, there's gonna be people there.
But even better is the response, like, shit happens. It's fine, right? Like, it's not a big deal.
And he still goes on the fucking mission. He's still like, well, they weren't really up and up about that previous mission where innocent people got killed, but, you know, maybe I can trust him on this last one. How does that go for him, Travis?
Well, it doesn't go over well, and he tries to put in his 2 weeks retirement. They're very nice about it. They hand him a red shirt and then walk away.
Look, if you're an assassin, don't ask for retirement. Just disappear and go away. Like, even if you...
do something.
Yeah, except for the problem is that they know who his wife is and his child, so they threaten him.
Sure.
I don't know.
So yeah, they light his ass up.
Yep, they
literally
kill him. Mm-hmm.
And kill him. He gets sent to hell. He meets John Leguizamo's character there,
the clown,
playing the Violator. Ugh,
it was pretty vile,
guys.
Yeah, and then we also get to see the horrible CG effect of Malbosia, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
The guy that couldn't even animate his mouth to move with his dialogue. We're just like rah rah, just flaps his lips.
Like, I've
times.
actually seen better puppets than
Seriously, a fucking Muppet. Get Jim Henson in there.
that. He would do a much better job.
I want to see Jim Henson's version of hell, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah. I feel like that would be way more terrifying. Like, I have no...
I feel like we actually look into Oscar Groucho's garbage can and that's what it looks like.
Just like, that's where he lives.
It's hell.
Oscar the Grouch is Malbolgia.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking more like he was like Pennywise, like they all float down here, Elmo.
No, I think that's what the Violator does in his spare time is do it impersonations. So,
yeah.
Seriously, let's talk a little bit about John Leguizamo's character in this, the Violator, because this is the most inane, like,
obnoxious.
Yeah, and I mean, at one point he does like this cheerleading sequence, and all I want to do is like reach through and just punch him through the screen. It was so obnoxious.
As irritating as he is, I still think he's probably the best part of this movie because at least he's trying.
I don't know. I mean, when you are like resulting to making like fart jokes, I think that you probably hit bottom of the barrel.
And eating live maggots.
Yes.
See, this is the problem where you have a movie where everyone else plays it dead serious and you leave all the levity to one character. And that character is like, and you know, let me say this, I love John Leguizamo. I think he's a great actor. Some movies I really like. And he just had bad direction on this one and a bad script because this is, you're right. Like, there was even a point where I thought, like, didn't he say a line I thought was funny? Like, in the beginning?
Possibly.
Like, he said, like, one that was like, oh, okay, that was kind of funny. And
no,
then...
actually, the one line I laughed at that he said was the one where the fake Satanists show up and they run away, which that scene was stupid to begin with, but he's just like, geez, why does God get all the good people and we get all the freaking retards? I'm just like, okay, that was kind of amusing in its own way.
Yeah, kind of vulgar, but like, yeah... Well, I guess we should, you know, it's not a surprise when the character is called the Violator, and you're like, oh, Jesus, who wrote this? A fucking 12-year-old? Like, come on.
Yep.
And it's like, his makeup is, I don't know if it's like, it's not like it's bad, but it's just like, why are you not very scary?
No, like he was dressed as an actual clown. He was terrifying.
When he's at the birthday party, he's way more terrifying than in any other point in this film. Like his Violator outfit, like I just don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like what puts me off about it? I'm like, why are you not scary? I don't know why. Because you're a clown from hell. That should be a great fuel for my nightmares, and yet you are inspiring nothing in me except for irritation. But yeah, he is the character that, like, every once in a while just pops in and checks on how Spawn is doing.
I mean, I almost have to agree, though, with the fact that he probably made this movie even remotely good, because then when he showed up, at least things happened.
He did further the plot, but... You know, I think that the real problem with him is that every time he pops up, his scenes go on too long. Because he'll be like, you'll be kind of like, okay, finally, but then, okay, well, this will come out after or before, but we did record a commentary for this movie, which I think is pretty good for the first half of it, but then like the last half
we lose
is
a bit of
just
steam.
I just get bored and a little frustrated because. I don't have any more jokes to make about John Leguizamo. Just every time he pops up, I just go, after a couple minutes, I'm like, go away. Just go away. I don't want to hear you or see you anymore. Go away. Like,
Well, because it's the same note. He only plays the same note every time. As he's disgusting, he's vile because he's the violator, and he makes fun of Spawn for just reasons. Like he's just like, you're such a moron. We're gonna do this. Oh, you're such a pathetic little loser, kind of thing. It's a one note joke that they do with a lot of him.
Okay, so can anyone clue me in as why they picked Simmons to lead their Hell Army?
Nope.
No.
Apparently, I did catch one thing during the movie where they said that he had the most, head counts. Like, he's the greatest killer alive at this point in time, I guess. It was a really quick little blurb, because I was wondering the same thing. And, yeah, it's just mentioned, the Violator mentions it in passing, he's, or maybe it was the other guy, the angel guy.
Cagliostro.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, which you would think that they would actually played actual mass murderers, because I'm pretty sure Stalin and Hitler are down there. They probably could have led those armies to
I don't know. He killed all those North Koreans. Well, I guess no, he technically didn't, but
yeah, I'm glad that you filled me on that because I was never clear why they cared.
It was really super quick. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because if I'm running a Hell Army and I need someone to lead it against angels in the coming apocalypse, I might pick someone with less of a moral center.
Like the chick assassin, she would have been great.
She would have been really good at this. She would have been very, very fitting. And that actress, I forget her name. Melinda, damn it. Melinda Clark, that's right. And she's heavily featured in some great TV shows, including Firefly. If you guys remember the...
I've never heard of Firefly before. Is it good?
You guys... That's funny. She
has a long list of really good...
she was the S&M chick in CSI.
Yeah.
I remember her.
How fitting, because that's kind of what she's doing in this movie with that crazy leather outfit that apparently is standard issue for the CIA, but I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, and she was in Reaper. I think she was even in Tremors, the TV series. My God.
She's in Gotham too. So okay.
She also apparently played a character in Avatar.
I think she did some voice acting, as well. She's a very prolific. She's an actress I really like. If you guys remember the the Whorehouse episode of Firefly, the second from last episode, she was really good in that. But yeah, she is one of look, I might make fun of her and Martin Sheen as the villains of this movie, but they are the only bright spots in the movie of wow,
at least entertaining.
They're at least good actors, and they give a gravitas and a charisma to their performance, even though Melinda Clark seems like her closet must just be filled with just S&M leather.
Yeah.
How is it in every scene she has a different leather outfit?
It's what she likes.
She's a stylish assassin.
Yeah. I mean, poor Martin Sheen, he looks like he was just embarrassed to be there. He's going to do it his all. He's going to take it seriously. But he's like, I would rather be in anything else right now. That's the vibe I got from him in this movie.
I'll tell you, I know I could see it in the movie. I saw Martin Sheen's soul die. I saw it. I saw it in the moment, and here it was, where he was talking to the Violator, and he's like, okay, I'll tell you what, man, we got to kickstart the apocalypse now. And then I saw it in his eyes. I saw it in his eyes that he was like...
They went dark.
When he finally said the lines, he was like, oh no, what have I done? I'm in Spawn. I don't know if I can live this down.
Malvosia, take me.
At one point, D.B. Sweeney looks at him, and he's like, you can't release the virus. Millions of people will die. And I was just like, okay, this is literally they just needed a paycheck badly.
It was like writing on the weekend of just what do we got? We got to finish that Spawn movie. Fuck. When's that due?
It gets even more freeform when they start talking about powers, which I'm sure we'll actually get into when we finish talking about the plot here.
Oh,
but
we will get to the
we haven't
fucking powers.
Started with the plot yet.
So yeah, well, let's get to the powers too, because we got to talk about Spawn does end up getting powers when he gets returned back to Earth.
Yeah, after a couple of years.
Yeah, he gets 3 years later. We see the birthday scene where the Violator is freaking weird, and his family has moved on. His wife's married his best friend. And yeah, he gets stuck with it in this kind of church slum area.
It's really weird.
Yeah, like, well, apparently a bomb did go off or in that section of the town or something, and shit got like messed up. He meets a kid there, and like
I'm glad you got that from the plot, because that was never clear to me at all in this movie.
I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, apparently there was something going on with like that factory that he was at. Like, apparently, like some sort of fallout happened, like with the virus or whatever, and it kind of like created like this weird like DMZ zone or whatever.
Weird.
Anyway, he realizes like, oh, well, I got this cool rad new suit. I'm gonna go get my vengeance and stuff. And he breaks it.
Yeah.
And he breaks in, he gets some guns and stuff, and yeah, he has. Every once in a while, there is a cool moment of this movie, and one of the cool moments is his first entrance, where he enters in with that cape. Mm-hmm. And I was like, my god, that cape is so cool!
The cape is really cool.
I would think it's so cool if it didn't look so fake.
I know, cape looks super
but
fake.
Here's the thing, it also covers up the rest of the scene most of the time.
Yeah. And it's one of the only things that isn't green in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Because, let's get into it, he first starts to realize his powers in this scene where he gets shot up and he gets a bunch of green filter over his body and it's like, oh, well, I can't really die. And I immediately go, yep, okay, I guess there goes all that tension in this movie.
Yeah.
Except for that he sucks so bad at his fucking job.
Like, you think he would, like, he still has the skills of himself being an assassin, correct?
And he's supposed to be, like, the best fucking assassin.
Like, I realize there's probably a learning curve for hell powers, but you didn't forget how to be a person, right?
Well, and he does that thing that bugs me in a lot of action movies, where it's like, so I keep shooting at this thing that's clearly not hurt by bullets. So what do? Well, I'll just keep shooting at it. I'm sure it'll die at some point.
If it didn't work before, let me try again.
This movie is very, very trying.
So yeah, how hard would it be if you were a regular assassin to kill just two dudes, and now you have hellspawn powers, and now you can't kill
gripples. Don't forget the gripples.
And grappling hook nipples and or gripples. #gripples.
That's a thing.
That is now a thing, and will now forever be a thing. And yeah, God, the gripples are stupid.
I love the gripples. But gripples are the best part of this movie, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, did Joel Schumacher direct this?
No, there's not enough homosexual overtones in it.
But
they could use some.
It you know what? It could have used a little bit more. Like, it might have made the movie more interesting.
Although I guess Tim Burton was originally supposed to be directing this movie.
So yeah, here's the thing. Here's my problem with this movie, and it's actually encapsulated by this one scene, is that they do something that the writer they think, or the director thinks is cool, and then it'll be immediately followed by something that's stupid. So like the scene where he's trying to get looked for by the cops. Mm-hmm. And he's climbing up the building with his gripples. And he's gotta hide from them, so he hides with his cape, like camouflage. Yeah. So you're going like, and you kinda go like, that's cool.
Is that gripples or gribbles?
Gripples.
Gripples.
Grappling hook nipples.
Grappling hook nipples. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
I'm very clever.
Yeah, coming to a Target near you soon for 1995. As you have your own homemade cripples.
I want to get one free.
So yeah, he camouflages himself, and you go, "Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's a neat ability."
Cool application.
And then, like, what's it like? 5 seconds after that, he knocks down a chunk of concrete, like Looney Tunes style, like and and suddenly they immediately know where he is again. I'm like, whoa, that was an unnecessary 30 seconds of movie.
He's also still invincible.
Well, and then I'm like, oh, well, maybe that sets up his camouflage power for a later scene in the movie.
Ha!
No,
no,
just useless. And then he flies away with his cape, which you immediately go, why didn't you just lead with that?
And again, he's fucking invincible. He could have just walked through that. Like, he doesn't even have to fly away. He could have just lightly jogged.
Man, I hope he sure dodges these bullets, otherwise he might have to heal again. Like,
it's the classic Wolverine problem. It's like, how do you beat a guy who can't actually die, you know?
And we only have so much green After Effects images. Okay, this fucking green, like, I don't know what they thought, like, the visual effects designer, which is the thought, like, green is cool, right? Everyone's favorite Power Ranger is the green one, you know, everyone loves, like, the green filter. We're like, so we're gonna use all the green, for all, like, the transformation sequences, and it all looks shitty.
Here's actually the secret, though. That's why DC has to use a blue filter now. This movie used all the green.
All the green in it, yeah.
That must be it. I mean, seriously, though, let's talk about the special effects in this film briefly.
Can you believe that this movie...
Go ahead.
No, could you believe this movie was directed by a visual effects guy?
No.
The problem, I think, was... okay, first of all, this movie had a budget of $40 million.
How?
And I was reading...
Where did it go? Where is it?
And I was reading in the wiki today that they spent 2/3 of that budget just on the special effects. And what ended up happening was that they ended up outsourcing the special effects a lot because I don't know why or what was going on there. But on a lot of, like, the main special effects that they got weren't delivered to them until 2 weeks before the movie actually debuted.
Yeah.
So this was like definitely a hack job. I don't know what was going on, but if I had $40 million, I mean, to put this in context, this movie was made in 1997. It's exactly 20 years old this week, by the way.
Oh.
Event Horizon came out at the same time, and it had a similar budget.
Yeah.
See, there's my excuse for picking this movie. It's its birthday.
There you go. Well, also, I've noticed, too, that, like, almost, like, 9 times out of 10, if your director is a visual effects artist, the movie's gonna suck. Like, there's been very few movies I've ever seen that actually had a good director who was previously, like, you know, you think Skyline and Alien vs. Predator, who were made by visual effect artists and that stuff. I mean, no, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, sorry, that one. You're like, visual effects artists can't make good movies most of the time. They don't know the craft of filmmaking. They just know how to make things look good, but they can't tell stories. I don't know what it is.
I think, like, you know, maybe you're not involved in the writing process or something. Maybe you don't, like, because you figure you would at least learn a couple things just from sitting with the directors.
Well, yeah, I mean, so many actors become directors later on.
Yeah, well, actors are the ones reading the script. Like, they read the scripts eventually, so I think they learn a thing or two about, like, storytelling and during it.
Maybe visual artists are just too far up their own asses.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Well, this guy worked on stuff, like, for visual effects. He worked on, like, Terminator 2, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, some big stuff.
He worked on some really...
resume.
Yeah, visual design, like, for visual design stuff, he's worked on some really good shit.
And then Garfield.
Well, maybe it was just one of those things where he was like, oh, I'm going to be the director and I'm going to do the special effects, and then realized he couldn't do both, and then just outsourced them to somebody, you know, some shitty studio, because they ran out of money. They raised the budget twice.
Yeah. Well, you know, let's get it right. Like, he did direct, you know, Garfield Gets Real. Garfield's Fun Fest.
Garfield Pet Force, that's the best one in the series.
And the Tour de Force, Garfield's Pet Force. And let's not forget Frankenfish. Anyone here watch Frankenfish?
Okay, this is going into the, like, slot of Barbie Horse Adventure of things we don't ever talk about again.
Okay. I watched Frankenfish, and man, I'm not getting that 2 hours back.
Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that?
Because I think I was like, what, 15 or whatever, and it was on the Sci-Fi Channel late night.
Wait, you're 15 and you're watching Frankenfish?
Yeah.
Why don't you watch porn like a normal person?
It wasn't on yet. Cinemax, they put it on late at night. I mean, man, I hope Mom's not listening. Anyway, don't cancel that.
I swear, he's a good boy.
That and Frankenfish are what really get me off. That's what really.
And that was information I didn't need to know.
Really.
So Spawn, by the way.
Also, Spawn. Speaking about things that don't get me hard, Let's talk about the Violator's transformation.
That was the worst effect of this whole movie. Just his transforming into the giant monster form. I'm like, the design would have been cool.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, big spoiler. There's a transformed version of himself. But seriously, if Spawn fought a fat giant clown in the final fight in this movie, it would have been hilarious. But I don't know. It's
It was bad. All of the special effects, the army, the green goo, the laser beams, I don't know. Like
the gripples.
The gripples.
Well, the way he morphs into his final monster form, I feel like it wouldn't have been out of place if Rita Repulsa would have thrown her fucking scepter at it and was just like, make my monster grow.
Yeah, but those things were practical effects, and they just reverse the camera shot to make it look like he's giant. In this one, they're trying to do this whole, the limbs stretch out and the visual effects style kind of thing, and it's awful to look at. Like, even by the standards, Patience was saying, for 1997, those are crappy effects.
Yeah, it is. And apparently it was done by a half a dozen studios, and apparently the whole production behind this movie was just a mess.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
Yeah, we're not done with useless characters showing up because we haven't talked about Cagliostro yet.
I was just thinking that.
Who just randomly has his sword out for no reason at all.
And he never uses it.
And he never, he's just like, oh yeah, I have a sword arm. Oh, wait, and puts it back. And then you're just like, why did you even break out the sword arm in the first place, dude?
Yeah.
I actually think that he was just playing a random D&D cosplayer that was just hanging around.
It was...
Because they made it seem like he's this big important part of the story, and he only shows up 2 times before he actually introduces himself proper to Spawn. And then he comes out for the final fight, and he proceeds to do nothing. He gets his butt kicked a couple times, and then he's just like, Spawn, use your gripples to stop him! That's the only way to fight the bad guys! And it's again, the fact that I can't pronounce his name, I have a hard time doing that, just shows how ineffective a character he is.
Castriano. Callisto.
Calypso, there we go. Sure, why not?
But yeah, well, it's Cagliostro, who is actually based off of a historical figure. If I'm not big on. I don't know exactly his whole deal, but I do remember from history class. I do remember some dude named that.
Yeah, that's more than I do.
Some Saxony or something like that, King of Saxony.
That sounds
or some
right.
shit.
Yeah,
I remember. I think he was eventually actually executed for witchcraft or something. So I think that's why they picked him for this Hellspawn thing. I don't know. But yeah, apparently Spawn is not really down with Hell's plan for him. Which, duh.
Why would you be?
Yeah. And
although to be fair, he did make a deal. He said, if you bring me back to life, I will lead your armies. And then suddenly he's like, nah, I don't want to do it anymore. It's like, that's not how that works. You made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, apparently you can just renege on a deal with the devil.
It's really easy.
He didn't get it in writing, you know?
Yeah.
He didn't sign anything in blood.
Yeah, it was just it's my word against yours. I'm the devil still,
yeah,
though.
your word's not very good then.
I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to trust you, devil. Just saying.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Father of lies.
Yeah, so he gets Spawn trained up for a training montage so that he can better use his powers. And he does one trick and he goes you basically got it, right?
That's enough.
I was hoping for at least a little bit you're the best around.
Nothing's ever gonna keep me down except this movie.
Well, they did basically say it's just believe in the suit and it'll do everything for you. So
I love how even hell powers operate off the heart of the cards.
You need a high faith stat for demon powers.
But in the beginning, he's like, you're just doing it by instinct. You need to learn how to control it. And then he's like, oh yeah, you just use your instincts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll be fine fighting the devil.
Yeah.
You think I operate this arrow with my fin? It's operated by my heart. He could use some training from fucking Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. He could introduce some training up there. Even Yondu had been you have grappling hook nipples? That's stupid.
That's really dumb.
You have an arrow that's controlled by whistling, even still though.
I can kill people with it though.
I love how we're talking about way better movies that I want to watch and like talk about rather than this one.
Too bad. You're still
There's
stuck
nothing to say
here.
about this movie. It's a garbage pile. I mean, seriously, like, this is that period of time when comic book movies really hadn't hit their apex. So we had Tim Burton's Batman, which was good. You know, it was good for the time being kind of thing. And we started to see inklings of other comic book properties that showed promise.
Oh, you mean like Elektra?
No, this was way before.
No.
This is way before
Or
that.
Catwoman?
This is way before that, too.
Daredevil?
But you know what wasn't? You know what released the same year as this?
What?
Considering we were talking about black
Air Force
superhero
One.
films. Almost as good as that. We have another black superhero film. Anyone remember what it is?
Blank Man?
No, DC. It was a big DC. It's a big DC property.
Oh, Blade?
No. Anyone got it?
No.
How about I give you a hint?
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh god.
Oh, freaking Steel.
Steel, baby.
Ah, that was a movie.
The same year as this one. A 1-2 punch for black heroes.
Oh my gosh. They set back the civil rights movement at least five
Yeah,
five
African Americans all cried out at once.
If
Right?
there was ever like, why did we have to wait for Black Panther like this for this long for a Black Panther movie? I feel like this might be a reason why.
Well, and it doesn't help too that Michael J. White. I've seen him in other stuff where he was actually good, like even Dark Knight when he showed up for that small scene that he was in.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
where he crapped his pants when Joker had that knife in his mouth.
Oh yeah, no, but that was great. And here he's got just like John Leguizamo, he's got one speed. He's just I'm very frustrated and angry at everything, and that's like the only thing that he does in this whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And wear that horrible makeup that he's wearing too, the burn makeup.
Yeah, well, and then it's like, okay, so why does the mask not appear in more of the film? Because he already has prosthetic makeup on.
Yeah, there's no showing his face. It's not there.
Why can't we have him in the mask more? And then I realized like it's because it's a superhero thing. Like, we need him to emote and show emotions. Like that's the excuse the Spider-Man movies make. But
it's freaking Spawn. Spawn doesn't have any emotions.
But it's Spawn. He doesn't have more than one. Like Justin was saying, he doesn't have more than one lane in this movie that he doesn't veer often enough. And he's already under a bunch of prosthetic makeup that make it hard to see what his facial acting is anyway. So I don't understand why they won't go with the mask, which is just cooler looking. But yeah, this movie, yeah, if you haven't told, I don't enjoy it very much.
I don't think any of us enjoyed it.
I don't, like it's bad on that level where it's not even interesting bad. It's just pretty terrible, like on every level of just like it, and you can tell like someone like writing this movie like, oh, this will be cool, and like this might be kind of neat.
No, this was cool.
But they never follow through or do anything interesting with any of the. And like, look, how dumb like does your bad guy have to be if he willingly puts a pacemaker in his chest that triggers a bomb?
Yeah. No, nothing could go wrong with that. Nothing.
It's the same person that has a mini disc clearly marked Special Ops.
Special Ops. Totally
right?
not.
In everyone's view, you might as well just put a big old top secret, stamp on it too, because that's not all of your important information is on this mini disc, clearly labeled.
Well, it's better this way because he actually had it in his computer under a folder that was totally not illegal activities I'm doing. So this was better. Like this, he was actually upping his security a little bit.
Why don't you just label it porn? Like
yeah, I wonder what is in his porn folder. Like just.
Or what is that labeled?
But,
Mom's recipes.
I don't.
Ew.
There's so many things I don't understand. And so yeah. Anyway,
Yes, isn't like a floppy.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was 97, so.
Okay, so there is like one or two things I do want to talk about in the spoiler section, even though I don't think anyone cares if we spoil Spawn.
No one
Is
cares.
there really anything to spoil in this movie? I mean, is there any surprise how this movie turns out for
There's
people?
like 5 listeners out there who haven't seen the ending and are going to write angry letters to us if we spoil it.
All right.
Wow, I think you are grossly overestimating how many people are going to listen to Spawn review.
But before we get there, does anyone else have any last minute gripes to bring up before we go into our final ratings?
I regret nothing.
I do have one thought. I knew this movie was gonna suck when I saw the opening credits, and it looked like the worst, like,
so
early
bad.
90s heavy metal music video
and it
ever.
was like 10 minutes long.
Seriously, like, and we just get this, like, thrash and metal music throughout the whole thing, and I'm just like, this is bad even for, like, a student film.
Well, I think
Go ahead,
I think
guys.
that no one wanted to, like, be recognized for making this film, so they made sure that everything was obscured in the intro, so no one could actually read their
It
names.
was hurting my eyes.
I thought there was one redeeming quality about this movie, and it is the soundtrack. It is like the most 90st awesome soundtrack. It's got like Filter and Nine Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson. I mean, I actually almost went and got a flannel shirt out of my closet to whilst watching the movie because I was so like inspired by the 90s. So
Yeah, here's how bad this movie is. There's a dog in it and I don't care if it dies.
Damn. That's some cold shit right
Yeah,
there.
that's how bad this movie is.
that's cruel. That is cruel.
Also, for a guy who's a gruff and tough CIA assassin, would you believe that he has a dog named Spaz? Like, that just seems like a really weird name for
Why
him.
would you even have a wife and child?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't he learn from Frank Castle what happens?
Well, you know, John Wick has a dog too. Apparently, that's an assassin's thing. You know, yeah, I'm a like.
Too soon.
Yeah, you never.
The second movie came out.
Yeah, you never. I would be like, I'm the most badass assassin in the world. I have 100 kills under my belt, including women and children. Here's my poodle, Fluffles. Pet him. Pet him. What? You don't want to pet my dog?
Also, I gotta say, I hated that kid. Like, that kid served no purpose, and he was a terrible, terrible actor in this entire
What
film.
was the whole point of that kid?
It's that dumb thing that they do in superhero and, like, action films where it's like, you need to have someone that the kids can relate to in the story, but we shouldn't relate to him because we're relating to Spawn. The movie is called Spawn.
Yeah. The only reason him and the dog are there is to garner sympathy, so for us to garner sympathy with him without really having to write a sympathetic story for him.
And it doesn't really work. But don't worry, but his dad's abusive, but he doesn't actually want his dad dead because he's his dad.
All right, I think we can. I think we can wrap this review up. I'm going to go into my actual rating here. This movie is just bullshit. I would recommend it for a watch to drink with your buddies to drink and make fun of. But even then, I still don't think it works. I think you get bored halfway through. Just go like,
drinks.
Because it's just not. There's not even a whole lot to make fun of here. Because there's only so many jokes you can make about the special effects being terrible. And yeah, it's just boring. Really, I mean, the worst thing about this movie is that it's boring. I've seen much worse movies that are actually more fun to watch just because they're actually more entertaining than this one.
Yeah, like Wormwood.
Yes, Wormwood is a perfect example. It's way more entertaining than this movie.
Wait. Okay, final test.
Yeah.
Is it worse than Cowboys versus Dinosaurs?
I don't feel like it's fair to have that be our standard. Like, I don't like
I
that we
think
keep
it
bringing
is,
up Cowboys versus Dinosaurs. Look, I would mark it under the same length of Cowboys versus Dinosaurs is where I'm like, I don't ever want to watch this fucking movie again. It's so goddamn bad. And I don't have fun watching it. So take that for what you will. I don't know. So yeah, for this movie only gets I'll have to switch up my rating, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the 10 scale, only because I have to use this as my rating scale. It gets 2 gripples out of 10.
Definitely.
I couldn't go with my normal 1 out of 5, because I would only gotten 1 gripple, and like that...
Maybe he only has 1 left.
Like, he only has the 1 gripple left. And plus,
if you lead my armies, you must give up a nipple.
And I wanted...
See, he's invincible everywhere except for the nipples. Don't ask how he tried. Don't ask him how he knows.
He has sensitive nipples. But anyway, Travis, how about you?
Yeah, gonna have to agree with you 100%. Like, this movie was shit. I actually think I've only been rated another movie this low, and that was Gods of Egypt, or was it?
Oh, Gods of Egypt, so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the only other movie I've rated
Did you rate Abattoir as low, or no?
I think Avatar we actually gave some cred just off the premise.
Yeah.
The premise was pretty neat.
I don't think because I'm giving this like the same as Nick, 2 out of 10. I don't think I rated Abattoir that low.
Okay.
Because I have to really dislike a movie to rate it this low. Because this one was... not only is it just insulting, it's boring. Like, I've never read the Spawn comic, but I imagine this is still somehow insulting to it.
I couldn't tell you. Like,
No.
I've read a couple issues of Spawn, and I was just like, this isn't for me.
Because at least you say the art's good on Spawn.
Art is good in Spawn, yeah.
So the visual effects on this movie are at least insulting to that. And I don't think any actor made out of this movie clean. They all had to take so many baths. It won't come off.
My stupid clown makeup won't come off after my Spawn movie. Anyway, Justin, how about you?
Obviously, for those who are listening to this stuff, I may seem like I'm just incredibly surly with all the reviews that we've had lately, where I didn't like Ants, I didn't like American Werewolf in London, I didn't like these other films. But it's not my fault that we just keep making crappy movies. But
this one was entirely my fault. I did it on purpose.
You guys make amazing movies.
Oh, no, that's true. That's true. To be fair, Train to Busan was one of the best picks that we had. So that was really good. But what else can I say? This movie is, and it's weird because I never felt bored like I did in some of the other films that were boring. But there's nothing good in this movie. Like, just because I wasn't bored doesn't mean I wasn't baffled and bewildered throughout the entire thing. Just like, how did this get greenlit in the first place? So, if I had to give a rating, I'm just going to go with consensus. It's going to get a 2 out of 10. I had a rating just a second ago, but, no, what? 2 out of 10 armies that Spawn easily massacred with his powers. So.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. How about you, Patience? What are you feeling on it?
I agree 100% with y'all. Bewildered, I think. Baffled and bewildered are the adjectives for me. Yeah, I watched the whole damn thing, and I was just like, mostly just like, wow, I cannot believe they spent $40 million on this damn movie. And it made money in the box office. I was just shocked. Like, it was considered somewhat of a success.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe we were all just, like, smoking crack in the 90s? It's possible.
We were all just really desperate for a superhero movie, I guess.
Yeah.
That must be it. So, I'm gonna give it 3 maggot-infested pizza slices out of 10.
Ugh. Seriously, some scenes in this movie just made me want to vomit, like the maggot stuff and some of the other things that he was
just
eating.
John Leguizamo in general.
Yeah, he's an unpleasant character to watch.
Oh, well, anyway, that's wraps it up for this episode of Netflix and Kill. Join us in a minute for a spoiler section where
You're welcome.
Like 1 or 2 more things. If you give a shit. But if you don't, you want to cut it off here, check out some of our back catalog of Netflix and Kill on our iTunes channel, UGO Podcast. You check out some of our regular episodes there. If you want to help out the podcast, maybe give us a 5-star review. We will read it on the air word for word. That is my guarantee. Or if you just want to, message us or maybe tell us why you like the Spawn comic. And,
actually, don't do that.
We
don't care. We really don't.
Well, if you want to talk to us about something else, then you can message us on Facebook at Unapologetic Geek Out. Maybe give us a like while you're there. Maybe email us at unapologeticgeekout@gmail.com. You can always tweet at us at UGO Podcast. And check out our Instagram. It's the same thing. We got some con pictures up there that are pretty cool. So, with that, Justin, where can the people find you?
Well, for those of you who are not tired of listening to me bash on movies and Netflix and Kill, which I can't wait to recommend what I have next. I'm really excited about it. But you can find me on oneofus.net. We do regular content. Chris Cox, he's diligent worker, great guy. I got a chance to record him live today, which was really fun. And that episode is apparently up now on oneofus.net. If you're a subscriber, $2 a month. There's hours and hours of content, including commentaries, which Nick Ties was also on. So
yeah, there's actually a bunch of new commentaries on too that were from a previous subscriber level that I'm actually running through right now, which are really fun, including Halloween, Die Hard, some really classic stuff that you can do. That these guys make some really amusing commentary too. But also there's some other great content which I believe Patience is also involved with, right?
absolutely. Deliberations of Doom, the best horror film podcast, I think, but I might be slightly biased.
You have the best name for your group because you...
The Doom Patrol.
Yes. Amazing.
One of the Summers brothers came up with that, and we live by that. We are the damn Doom Patrol. And
it makes me think that the writer is going to make something really bad happen to you guys, though, on a constant basis.
We just did an episode on vampires, some like little known, more obscure vampire movies. Our next episode is going to be all about Stephen King. Ooh. So it should be pretty good. So check me out on oneofus.net. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook at prof.patience.
Yeah, and having listened to Patience work with the Vampire Podcast, it's really entertaining stuff. It was a very good podcast.
We had a good time, Matt. That was an excellent episode. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it as well. Can't wait for the Stephen King episode on your thoughts on Dreamcatcher. That'll be great.
Oh.
Yeah, we are not doing Dreamcatcher. That was immediately vetoed. But we are going to do some fun ones, trust me.
Then you're not getting the full oeuvre of Stephen King if you don't do Dreamcatcher.
No, Nick, do you want to watch Dreamcatcher again? I'm just saying.
Hey, maybe that's my next suggestion. Is it on Netflix?
Oh!
I hope not. At least tell me you're talking about Maximum Overdrive, right?
Yes, of course.
Well, thank God. Well, at least there's that.
Immediately the top pick for everyone, so yeah.
Oh, I suppose that means we should also pick our next movie, because don't we have to have someone choose one now?
No, we have we're actually, for those of you who don't know, we've been switching up Netflix and Kill a little bit more to have kind of more rotating guest appearances, so, yeah, expect we're still going to do it with Justin, Patience, and some of the other crew that we've been doing with, but I'm kind of opening it up to, we just had one with John. Mm-hmm. We have one upcoming, I think, with Chris Herman as well.
Okay.
We might even have a TV dude on or two. We're switching it up a little bit.
At least they should be picking a good one, right?
Yeah. I want the TV dudes to pick out some TV movies or something. I don't know. We'll think of something. But yeah, we're switching it up a little bit just to kind of keep it a little more fresh every time. But yeah, we'll still have Justin's pick on for whatever he's got in mind. I'm very curious. I'm not sure when it will be. It'll all depend on the rotation. But before we get into that, let's take a small musical break, and we'll come back with the spoiler section right after this.
Big of the 90s, Spawn. Created by a guy named Nick Farland. Had his own show on HBO. Did the plot make sense? No.
And welcome to the spoiler section for Spawn.
Spoiler, it sucks.
Let's wrap it.
That's my line.
Let's wrap this up one quick, guys, so we don't have to talk about Spawn anymore, because I am done. But anyway, so Spawn, yeah, our main bad guy, Martin Sheen. What's the name of his villain character again?
I don't remember.
Who cares? McBad guy, evil plan man. He has attached Jason Wynn.
I like McBad guy though.
And also just thinking the idea that, he's related to Charlie Sheen, it's his dad, so he's McWinning. McWinning in that whole thing.
You know what? It was a long way to go for it. It was a long way to go for the winning joke, but you know what? I think worth it in the end. I think that was good.
Whole episode, just for that.
Definitely. I think that was pretty sweet. I liked it. Yeah, he's got the pacemaker onto his heart to make sure that if he dies or if his heart stops, then the bomb releasing the virus will go off, kickstarting World War III apparently. And he wants that to happen because
reasons.
He's evil.
What's the point? Like, he won't make any money off of it.
Yeah.
He's basically starting the apocalypse. I think it's just because the Violator talked him into it.
I guess.
Sure.
Mm.
Just like
he's
someone
so
talked
convincing.
him into using that Just for Men hair dye on his beard. He's easily malleable.
Oh, yeah, so anyway, Spawn's family gets taken hostage.
Shocking.
And he has to come up and save him.
Shocking.
And his wife gets stabbed before he can save him.
Shocking.
And I love the level of Joe's just like, I have nothing else to say. I have no originality left. I have one joke left, and that is shocking. So yeah, we're supposed to think like, oh my god, his wife is dead. How tragic.
Except no one cares at this point.
Well, one, no one gives a shit because no one cares about any of these characters. Two, how am I supposed to take this seriously if when she's stabbed, her stab wound is green? The same green, in fact, that looks like when he gets stabbed and or shot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, obviously that's not real. Cause what else am I supposed to think visually from that?
It is a visual storytelling element. You are correct. It's just one they use incorrectly.
So yeah, it turns out like, oh nope, that was the Violator the whole time.
Oh my god!
So we get one more scene with him, this fat clown in a bathrobe, because we all needed to see that.
I mean, it's no real worse than the cheerleading outfit.
So then, they fight a little bit there, and then he drags them into hell. And this is this point in the movie where I'm just like, oh, sweet Jesus.
Why?
Like, when you think at the point where it's like, okay, this movie's almost done, right? It's almost over.
Not quite.
And then we get into the fucking final battle at the end with this fucking PS1 graphics. Like,
Cool.
I think that's actually insulting to the PS1.
I saw some, like, I remember playing Eternal Darkness on PS1.
That was
like,
a very terrible game.
This was, and I'm like, this is about the right level of graphics for that game. This would be about
this is
fitting
CDI level graphics.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, maybe that's what hell really looks like, because I definitely don't want to go there.
And we see they use the same sequence of the army. Like, they use the same cutout of the same, 20 dudes all over and over again. I'm like,
You mean those GIFs they were using?
Yes. I was like,
Seriously.
they're on a fucking loop. Like,
The mini spawns.
and then, so they have a fight there, and it's like, I'll give it this, I can sort of tell what's going on, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So they fight the Violator and the Hell Demons down there, and then they, use their gripples, to get out, and then they fight the Violator again on the in the outside of Hell because a reason that they couldn't fight him inside Hell. Look,
also Cagliostro, whatever his name is, Calzone. Apparently, is just like, oh, by the way to beat him, cut off his head. It's like, couldn't you have led with that to kill him? Avoided this whole fight sequence.
I would have been, needed to know ahead of time.
Aha!
Did you see what I did, Nick?
I did.
Yeah. I got it. It was good. I liked it.
It actually belonged in this movie. She stole it from it, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I even when we were watching it, I made the call out to Travis of when his head flopped to the ground, and I was like we're 3 seconds away from giving head joke, and yeah, what was the line? He went to the wife oh, how about a little head or something?
Yeah, it's really bland, actually.
And I was like, oh, sweet Jesus. Anyway, that's a perfect capper for this movie because we get the end there, and then Spawn is on a gargoyle looking over the rooftops. It's see me later in the sequel that no one will fucking ask for.
Yeah. No, it's just that thing too, just thinking about the kills and that stuff. This is Netflix and kill, and I think I think only 2 people died in this movie, if you think about it, because it was
the she-assassin.
And then, presumably the Violator.
Yeah.
Yeah, Violator.
And that's about it.
And all the little mini Spawn demons that he shot with his green lasers.
Okay, yeah, so apparently Spawn is supposed to lead this army to conquer Earth, but he apparently can just take out 200 people with his superpowers just casually, without even trying.
So I forgot about this the first time watching it again. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. And then literally during this review, I was reminded of it when you rated when we rated the movies because Justin had his rating, and then I forgot about it again because that scene is so quick where he eliminates the whole army with one green laser blast. I thought he was. I heard under his breath he was starting to chant in brightest day and blackest night, let no evil escape my sight.
That'd be ironic.
Because I'm like, what is with the Green Lantern, like, fucking power battery bullshit right now?
You know what, I want to see a Hell Lantern now, though. Just thinking about that.
Now Green Lantern doesn't look like such a shitty movie, though.
You know what? Yeah. I actually, if there's anything good to think about this movie, it's like, hey, Ryan Reynolds, your Green Lantern movie looks a little bit better now.
Everything in perspective.
Not the worst superhero movie anymore.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this one's the worst superhero movie, because stuff like Batman and Robin still exists.
Yeah, and Steel.
But it's definitely, it's in there. It's fighting for the title, that's for sure.
Top five.
It's
you know what? Catwoman is still out there. So.
Catwoman and Elektra. Like, man, whenever, like, poor black heroes and superheroes, and women superheroes, because when they get bad movies, we stop trying. But when white guys make bad movies, we keep giving it the college try. Green Lantern didn't prevent Captain America or anything. But yeah, hopefully Miss Marvel and Black Panther will change that up for us a little bit.
I hope so.
But yeah, with that, I think we can bring this episode to an end, don't you guys? Guys think, unless you got one more last Gripple pun or anything left.
Our misery already.
Malbosia, take us away, please.
Yeah.
Grippling Hook.
Grippling Hook, no. But yeah, with that, we are on Unapologetic Geek Out, and we're out. With Grippling Hooks, we're out of here.
It hurts.
That's the sound of a Grippling Hook.
That's the sound a Grippling Hook makes. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really glad Gripples is a thing. Like, Grippling Hooks.
That is like what I'm taking away from this. That is what I like now.
We get to take away one thing from watching Spawn as those Gripples. So that's pretty cool.
I'll have to find a way to work that into the party tonight. Just like, oh yeah, that whole thing with the Gripples.
Just during casual conversation, just like, no, he's trying to pick up a girl and be like, so, you want to see my Gripples? I'm sorry, what?
Impressed or disgusted? Like,
obviously you mispronounced nipples. Like, no, I did not.